I'm all right, Mikey. You ready to do it? Let's do it to it
I'm
like
ready.
a Buick Fluid. Good, do it.
Okay.
Leaving it in.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of On an Unrelated Note. I am your host, Mike Allen, and my co-host here, Mike Badont, is with me like always.
Hey there, Mike.
Hey, good to see you again, buddy. I'm glad the listeners are back for On an Unrelated Note, where we talk about anything from games, movies, TV, to pop culture, just really anything that comes to mind. So,
Pretzels.
how was your weekend, Mike? I haven't talked to you in a while.
My weekend was pretty good. I actually, interesting. Well, maybe some of the listeners will find this. You won't find this interesting. I'm going to bore you to death with this. But
It's probably true.
So I had to drop out of this fantasy league with my sister and brother-in-law because we're doing this, and like it's a lot of work to get all this stuff going anyway. But so as like a penance, I ran their auction draft for fantasy football, and basically what this is you're like basically an auctioneer because everyone gets $200. And you have to spend it all on the players. So someone will be like, I want this quarterback. And someone goes, all right, $20. And someone else is like, no, $21 or whatever. And so like, it's all this like weird sniping of people. Like you never want to put up someone that you want because then everyone knows that you want them and they'll just keep driving up the price to be a jerk.
So is everyone just throwing in their best players towards the end?
Basically.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
Like one guy was getting real mad because my brother-in-law, we had gone through like multiple rounds, and my brother-in-law hadn't spent any money. And he's like, "What's your game?
God.
What's your game?"
Yeah, that sounds like I haven't played much fantasy, but that does sound like a
It's a fun way.
very
It's a
way
fun
of
way to
doing
do
it.
it.
Yeah.
How about you, man? You do anything this weekend?
I've probably drank and spent too much money. That's a typical weekend for me though.
That's every dang day.
Yeah. No, yeah, just another good time. But anyway, moving on. So I would like to bring us to our first topic this week, and I saw this earlier. It was about Ben-Hur, the movie Ben-Hur. If you haven't heard of it, it's kind of like a gladiator type of film. It came out this summer, and apparently it's supposedly either the biggest bomb this summer or one of the biggest bombs this summer in the box office, and it took $100 million to make and only made $11.4 million.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous.
that's not good. Yeah, so that's the remake of the Charlton Heston movie from 60 something or other. I don't know.
Okay, so I didn't even know it was a remake.
It's remake. Well, in all fairness, and people got mad at it for being a remake, but I'm pretty sure the Charlton Heston one from the 60s was a remake of something from like the 40s or something like that. But yeah, no. Yeah, that's bad. That's what we call losing money. Like $10 million. Like, first of all, $100 million for a movie nowadays isn't like crazy amount of money. Like,
but it had Morgan Freeman in it, which that's rare,
everything,
right? Like,
no,
when's the last time Morgan Freeman?
Everything has Morgan Freeman in it.
That's true, but at least it does all right if Morgan Freeman's in it. But in all fairness, he did have dreads in the preview, so
I don't know. I think Morgan Freeman is probably a box office meh. Like it doesn't matter. He's what he was in. What was he in? He was like he's been in some of the greatest movies of all times, but he's also just been in. He was in Now You See Me 2 this year too. Did you see that? Because I didn't see it.
I forgot that came out.
That first one was so bad. Like.
To be fair, it wasn't that bad.
So
like
bad.
I enjoyed it.
No,
I enjoyed it. It wasn't good,
so
but it wasn't.
Spoilers for Now You See Me, which I don't know how a movie that barely has a plot could have spoilers. But like, it turns out that Mark Ruffalo's character, who's hunting down these magicians who have real magic or don't. Sometimes it's tricks, and sometimes it's like legit magic. But like, he's hunting them down because he's with the FBI, and they have to be stopped or something. But it turns out that he was pulling the strings the whole time and was actually the magician helping them be better magicians.
Yeah.
But
because Morgan Freeman gave up all the magicians.
Yeah.
That's what he was known for doing.
But
yeah.
But there are like scenes in that movie where he's like flipping out about how he can't figure it out. But he's like in his like hotel room by himself. Drop the act. Who are you acting? You're acting for the camera. Like he's like freaking out in his hotel room going, oh, why can't I figure out who these guys are? And like, it makes sense when he's doing it when the other agents are around, but you're in the clear. Just just watch some TV in your hotel room. Like,
Hey, maybe he's pulling a Heath Ledger. Maybe he's really got to method act this, or Jared Leto.
Oh, listen, it was a bad movie. It wasn't Jared Leto bad. I'll give you that.
All right, let's move on to the next segment. I think you're really going to enjoy this, Mike. So Adam West, who is the original TV version of Batman, right? Or was that the cinematic version of
no, so honestly, I don't know, but because the Batman 66 is what they call the show. So like the show was on 66, but there was also Batman the movie, and I don't know which actually came out first because I was born in the 80s. So
chicken or the egg, whatever. Adam West is coming back for a new animated Batman movie, and it's styled like the TV shows. So like Robin's still in tights, and it's the exact same outfits from the TV shows they did, and it actually looks kind of funny.
So I was watching that, and I was like, maybe I haven't seen Batman 66 in a while, but like, I feel like, well, first of all, good thing Burt Ward's still alive. I had no idea. Like, it feels bad to say, but I didn't know he was still.
Is he the guy that plays Robin?
He plays Robin, and like, so I did see a promo for it, and I'm like, man, he really doesn't sound like he's he's really putting in a good voice performance here, or whatever.
Well, and he's Adam West on Family Guy too.
No. Burt,
we're talking about.
Yeah, Burt Ward is. Yeah. No, so Adam West was when I was kind of surprised because he's been doing some stuff like he plays Adam West, but he really seemed to be playing a caricature of himself. Like he seemed to be playing Adam West playing Batman. Like you know what I mean? Like he didn't. I don't know. It looks fun. I might see it, but at the same time, like just go.
I'm not gonna say it's gonna be great. I just thought that you might like it, and it was noteworthy of bringing up.
I'd rather just go back and watch 66 Batman. Probably. Maybe I'll check it out. Yeah. I don't know. I did see that though. I really liked some of how they updated the 66 stuff. Like the one scene they do show in one of the promos. It's like they're being like trapped. They're like tied up on like a microwave dinner plate as it goes towards a microwave or something. And it's like, all right,
I didn't even see that. That's pretty cool.
I was like, that's something they would do. There's, there were episodes back in the day where they were like trapped in caviar and stuff. Like, oh no, will they survive? So it's fun to see that they at least kept that spirit. But
that's good. Yeah. So just to keep it on movies here, I got a whole list of movies that are coming out that I really want to see. Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy, he's the blonde hair guy that plays Jax, is going to be in Guy Ritchie's new film.
He was in Pacific Rim.
Yes, he was also in Pacific Rim. I think most people know him for Sons of Anarchy.
More people saw Pacific Rim than saw Sons of Anarchy.
Pacific Rim?
Pacific. It's pacifically located in the Pacific part of
It's very Pacific. If you don't know. No,
this drink's almost half gone.
Okay. Charlie Hunnam is playing in Guy Ritchie's new film, King Arthur, The Legend of the Sword. And the preview looks amazing, I think. We haven't seen a King Arthur film since Clive Owen and that really bad version that Clive Owen did.
Keira Knightley was in that too, I believe.
Yeah, and then Merlin was just like a warrior and not a wizard.
I didn't see it. Was it just called – it might have just been called Arthur. Was it just called Arthur?
I think it was just called Arthur. Yeah. It was just a super battle flick, and basically everybody died except for like 2 people. But – no, this version. First off, I'm a huge Guy Ritchie film. If you've ever seen the new Sherlock Holmes,
you're a real Guy Ritchie film. Is that what you are? You're a film by Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, I'm a film by Guy Ritchie. That's why I'm so great at everything I do.
Hey, you called me out on prescriptive. So
no, I'm glad you did. No, I'm a big Guy Ritchie film. Back from Snatch to
You said it again.
To Smoking. God, why? What is wrong with me?
Fan, you're a fan.
Fan. I'm a real Guy Ritchie film fan. Okay, there we go. Film fan. Yes. From back to Lock, Stock, 2 Smoking Barrels, Snatch, Layer Cake, all his stuff's good. And then now you got his newer stuff, which is Sherlock Holmes as Robert Downey Jr., which is really great.
Not the second one.
Oh, come on, dude. It's got a good story.
That second one's bad.
That's the only reason you even think it's bad is because you watch BBC Sherlock.
Which is amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
And I will agree to that. Benedict Cumberbatch is the best Sherlock ever. If you haven't checked out Sherlock off Netflix, BBC, it is probably the best Sherlock.
It's so good.
Ever experienced.
So good.
Yeah. And it is good. But have you seen the new King Arthur movie with Charlie Hunnam?
I know. I saw like I'm aware that it exists. I feel like, and you can defend him because you're his film, but like I feel like I feel like Guy Ritchie is kind of like I feel like he's kind of diminishing returns. Like I feel like each of his movies isn't as good as the one before. Like you go back to like Lock, Stock, and that stuff's real good.
Yeah, but no one. That's the thing about Guy Ritchie. No one knew about his films back then, but they were still good.
Yeah, but so I feel like as he's gotten to like, as he's Hollywoodized, they've kind of like taken a bit of like his like fun edge or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he's a very detailed type of person in his story writing. I know that, and directing wise, there's always a lot of dialogue. Yeah, always.
Like I don't know. I just thought like I felt that real hard in the turn from like you watch Sherlock Holmes. Obviously, it's more like popcorny than like something like Lock, Stock, right? But like
right.
I really like the first one. I thought was really fun. I was like, oh, Sherlock Holmes can do action because he's smart. He uses deductive reasoning, so he knows how he can beat some guy up in a fight, right? And like that was fun in the first one, and then the second one, it was just kind of like people liked it when they punched in slow motion, so let's just punch in slow motion.
Okay, and I'm not saying that he didn't find things that work. I mean, let's face it, the average moviegoer is kind of dumb, right? They're
well,
like,
the average person is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
we're
dumb too. We're not putting anyone down. We're dumb people.
Yeah, but the reason I think he could do a really good rendition of King Arthur and the whole story is because
he's British. That's racist.
That's not what I was going to say at all. You're racist for having that thought. No, what I was going to say is he is so like. The stories always have multiple characters. There's a ton of dialogue. And I think for once you're going to get a character like Merlin who does magic. You're going to get a Lancelot that like actually has a story. And you could do a lot with it. I mean, there's more than one story of just King Arthur or Arthur pulling the sword out of the stone type of thing, So this could be another continuation of like a trilogy or something. I think it's cool and new and different, something we haven't seen.
I mean, I'm excited to see it just because I'm a fan. I think that media has done King Arthur a pretty bad service, but like the idea is fun. Like I just worry that they're hitching their horse to Charlie Hunnam, who I don't know if he's the box office draw people were hoping he was going to be post Sons of Anarchy.
What are you talking about? Pacific Rim was like amazing compared to like the results it's got. I didn't actually really care for the movie.
I'm talking box office. The only reason they're even kind of considering Pacific Rim 2 is because China liked it.
Yeah, well, internationally, right? Yeah. So I mean, it made over like 300 mil internationally.
But like, it was like I think he might be coming up in our new segment called "Who's the Latest Sam Worthington," where we decide who the new latest Sam Worthington is.
Dude, you're gonna piss off a lot of Sons of Anarchy fans, aka me.
Hey,
don't ever comparing someone to Sam Worthington. You might as well just like shoot him.
For anyone who might not know what we're talking about, Sam Worthington was the main actor of the movie Avatar, which everyone saw and subsequently forgot existed. Except for James Cameron because he's making like 7 of them. But so he was in that. And it was the biggest thing ever. And so they went, oh man, this is the next guy, and they put him in like Terminator Salvation and all these movies that were just non-starters. Like Hollywood wanted him to be the next big thing, and audiences went, nah, I don't want that.
They're like, meh, nah.
That's
what happened. Yeah, whenever Hollywood tries to make someone a big star, it never works out. Like, what is it, Jai Courtney? Boomerang from Suicide Squad.
Courtney,
he's got that disease.
John McClane's son. They were like, "You're going to be the next big thing," and
he's also in the first Jack Reacher too, as like the bad guy in that. Yeah.
All right, so they're coming out with the new Jack Reacher, right? So Jack Reacher was a Tom Cruise movie from a couple years ago.
Based off a book.
It was based off a book, and there was initially some trepidation by the fans because I think Jack Reacher's just supposed to be like a brick shit house, and like
he's supposed to be like 6'5" blonde hair, and then you get
Tom Cruise
who's like 5'7" with brown hair. You're like, this doesn't make sense.
And that movie was not good. So the joke I was initially going to make was the new one's called like Jack Reacher Never Go Back or something like that. I'm like, yeah, don't go back to that.
Yeah, you shouldn't have gone back.
But it does have one of my favorite moments in a movie I've seen recently. the bad guys kidnap Jack Reacher's girlfriend, who's not really his girlfriend, but in movies, if you've met a girl twice, she's your girlfriend. And so like, they're like,
if you thought about her sexually, she's your girlfriend.
So like the bad guys call him and go, we have your girlfriend, and like we're gonna kill her if you don't show up. And he's like, kill her. I don't care, whatever. And he hangs up the phone. And you're like, oh, that was. And then he picks the phone back up and he's like, actually, no matter what you do, I'm just gonna come kill you. Screw you guys.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, he does it better than that, probably.
No, he doesn't. He's like, I know you think you're above the law, but I'm not the law. You're like,
I think that's a quote from like Judge Dredd or something like that.
They could have used it both. Does anyone remember Judge Dredd? I don't think.
Rob Schneider does. He was in that movie.
Was he? The original?
Yeah.
Oh, no one cares.
Like
about
that the whole
or the remake.
That remake's good though. That remake's good. It just no one saw it.
Yeah. Well.
Anyways,
so I'm just gonna switch it up a little bit. I feel like we've been talking about some movies. We added a little extra topics on there for your benefit, viewers.
we sprinkled on a little topicalings.
Yeah, just little topic sprinkles. So I know in the past we've talked about No Man's Sky, and again I'll just briefly touch what No Man's Sky is. It is an adventure game of a galaxy.
Garbage fire.
Giant... Yeah, it's a big galaxy that you can travel anywhere and everywhere to. There's a gazillion planets or whatever, and they're constantly recreating new stuff. And it was supposed to be this giant indie game that was just going to shut down everything because it was so innovative and everyone was going to play it, and it had so much replayability because it never really ended.
Yeah.
Right? I think I summed that up pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Okay. So I read something really funny.
Don't oversell
So
it,
on
Mike.
PC users, No Man's Sky within 2 weeks has dropped 90% of its players.
That sounds about right. No Man's Sky is my favorite, or the most recent example I have of my favorite internet thing. And my favorite internet thing is it's especially true of video games because of the time investment involved, but it's true of TV shows, movies, basically book, anything. When people like go on the internet to defend how something's good, like they'll just like flame every review and be like, you're wrong, this game's great, all this kind of stuff. It's like, if the game's so good, why are you on the computer telling me it's good? Why aren't you just playing it? Just play it. If it's so good, what do you?
Yeah.
It's obviously not good if you have time to go flame reviews of stuff. Do you know what I mean? If you have.
Well, then again, everyone thinks that they have a valid opinion. That's why Yelp's been invented.
That's why podcasts.
Me and Mike B are doing a podcast. So, people, do whatever you want as long as it doesn't affect me. You're good. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, that game was a victim of internet hype culture.
Hype, people wanting to get rich and trying to please everybody. That's what happened.
You can't please it. Like if you go and try and please everyone, you're not really going to please everyone. Like there's no way. Like trying to please everyone leaves no one satisfied. Like if you're like, I'm going to give a hand job to everyone in town, like those are going to be like bad hand jobs. You're going to be tired after a while, and like no one's going to
First off, who wants a hand job?
But my point is, before we go deep down a rabbit hole, no one came here to listen about hand jobs. My point being...
Listen, I think everyone came here to listen about hand jobs.
My point being that, hand
jobs suck.
Why
That's
not?
the point.
Why not work on giving, 2 really good hand jobs instead of trying to give, 200 mediocre hand jobs? So don't try and make everyone happy. Just try and make a couple of people happy.
Right. Or just one blowjob. Right?
I don't know what to say. Mike, I told my my dad how to find this podcast the other day, so I think we should.
I think your father would have. No,
Fran has a firm no hand job
Fran,
policy.
Thanks for listening, buddy.
Oh God, I'm cutting this shit. Or I'm leaving it in. I haven't decided.
Oh God, you're leaving it in. I like it. All right, no serious talk here, everybody. We're moving on. Next subject. So, I read the other day. All right, the new Star Wars films, episodes 7, 8, and 9. Right. All right. So, I don't know if you've heard about this, Mike, but there is a new fan theory, which we all know that there's a ton of billions of fan theories, everything. But this one actually has like a video and a very convincing argument.
An internet
very
video?
Convincing. Yes, it is on the internet.
As someone who has done that multiple times, they'll let anyone put those up. But continue.
But if it gets sponsored on like Yahoo News, it's got some traction.
Yahoo News has absolutely no credibility. Don't you bring up Yahoo News around here.
I swear, if we get put on Yahoo News, I would love that.
Listen, if Yahoo News,
don't act like you wouldn't love
listen,
that.
our
breakout new podcast.
Our general rule, guys, is if anyone gives us money, we will tell you that it's great.
Yeah.
So until Yahoo News, the day that I go, hey Mike, I saw something on Yahoo. It was really fun. They paid us. Just so everyone knows. Full disclosure.
Okay. All right. Can I get to what I was talking about now?
Fine, you want to.
All right, fine. You're going to have a lot to say about this. I know this. So, basically, they're saying, like, the whole theory is that Rey is being set up as the villain. It's very intriguing. It makes a very good port. So, they say that the dark side of the Force is easier, right? I think it's back in, like, episode... Whenever Luke's training with Yoda, and he's like, is the dark side of the Force more powerful? And Yoda's like, no, it's easier, though. So, and to back those points up, Rey automatically... Like, she learns that she has the Force by, like, tricking those stormtroopers to, like, let her go, right? She's just like, let me just try something. So you have that.
Daniel Craig.
Then, 2, whenever he's holding up a stormtrooper at me right now, folks. It's hard to focus.
It's a New Order stormtrooper. It's a bobblehead.
Right.
I'm going to shake it. I'm going to shake it. As Mike explains his theory, I'm either going to go back and forth, whether I agree to it, or up and down if I think it's good. Right now it's going back and forth.
Oh, my God.
You can hear it.
All right,
is this good in people's ears? All right, continue. I apologize.
All right, so...
The drink's a fourth gone now, Mike.
Yeah, all right, so Rey, also when she fights Kylo, she can automatically pick up the lightsaber and basically can wield with him. She hears a voice in her head that says to kill him, which in the novelization version of this, she realizes that's the dark side reaching out, meaning that she's highly susceptible to it, which everyone is, but she also has the same past as Anakin. You know, Anakin lived on that pod racer planet and everything, and he was a junk guy.
Tatooine. You had Tatooine. You need to know what Tatooine. Like, it's...
Oh, my God. Don't
just
give
need
me
to,
that. I know it.
I
Come
need
on.
to cut you off. I just had to say that because I was getting mad. So I can only imagine anyone who likes Star Wars listens to it. This Colonel pod race planet.
Listen, I can only think so fast. I know the planet's name. You know, anyways, so she just has a lot of similarities, and also in the poster, like her little spear thing lines exactly up with the red lightsaber. I just thought it was an interesting take. I'm not saying it's true, but I thought, like, that'd be a good twist. I mean,
so
we already saw that
think,
movie, and it's basically like a redo of number 4,
yeah,
so why not
I think
try to trick us?
So I've heard this theory before. And
oh, you could have started with that.
Well, I wanted you to explain it to the listeners. So they could give.
You like to just berate
so
me
they could
about
give.
it,
So they could give feedback to people, and maybe they hashtag unrelatedpod on Twitter or email us at unrelatedpod@gmail.com. But I've heard this theory, and this theory sounds pretty like bunk to me. I think Rey has had far too much of a fan favoriting. Like she's set up too well to have that be the twist. Like
there's another theory that she like ends up being like the reincarnation of Vader.
Well, so then my second thought on hearing this theory is, listen, like, because I think the second half of this theory is that she turns bad and then Kylo Ren turns good, right?
I would love that. Honestly, I would.
Which my first thought is like, the first thing we saw you do was like murder your father, but then I'm like, Hayden Christensen got to be a CGI ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi, even though he murdering all those ton kids,
of children,
all those kids. Like, there's no redemption. There's no redemption for that. It doesn't matter how many sons you save from an evil emperor. If you murder a room full of kids, there's no coming back.
20 children. 20.
Yeah.
Children. Yeah, it was
They're
bad.
Like, Master Skywalker, what's going on? And he's like, what's going on? Is I'm about to kill you.
He gets out the evil eyes. Yeah. Seriously.
Boy, so I assume there's no coming back. I mean, I think it would be interesting, but I think the bigger Star Wars question is who's Snoke. I mean, that's going to be the reveal, right? And And to go into a bigger thing that's bothering me more and more about the new Star Wars is it's all like mysteries. Like the original Star Wars weren't based on mysteries, right? Like you do have the Luke I am your father moment, right? Which of course we were both born after the movies came out, so we kind of probably already knew that even when we first saw them. But like that was a huge twist to people who saw that in like 1980. But it's not foreshadowed. Do you know what I mean? It's not like
Right.
It's foreshadowed in that movie, but you didn't leave episode 4 going, well, who's Luke's dad? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's just it's just a pat.
I don't think that was a question.
It's a pat. Yeah, because it's a passing reference, and you're not like, did he have a sister? Maybe he had a like. It was all just kind of slowly revealed to you. Where this is like, hey, here's a bunch of stuff you don't know. Go crazy on the internet. Like the only reason Snoke and stuff like this is a mystery and Rey's origin is a mystery is because we live in the internet culture. So I don't know. I also think I might be done with Star Wars. I don't know. I love Star Wars, but they're just going to keep making them. So like, I'll never see the end. I'll never see.
Well, we'll see. I think we can wrap this segment up with that. We're going to see the trilogy, the last part of the trilogy. Or what is it? Saga?
I don't know.
9 is the saga.
I don't know if
right?
I can say that, dude. Don't
lie to don't. This is like the time you told me I'm done with Arrow, and then Arrow was terrible. Like you're gonna keep watching Arrow. Like just moving on.
Let me have a moment of like feeling like I have any control over what I do in my life.
You don't. You don't.
All right. So in case anyone was curious for the callback, the stormtrooper has definitively shook his head. Bobbly no.
He's actually flicking off Mike B at this point.
No, he's holding a blaster, a period accurate blaster, if we have to be.
Okay. Hey, I was dabbling around a little bit. So the Thor universe, we're gonna go a little Marvel here, Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thor universe has been kind of, It's not the greatest, it's not the worst, but it is entertaining. The first Thor, we loved it, right?
It might be the worst, right?
Thor 2 might be the worst.
Well, like what I'm saying is, if you look at all like from the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, like it doesn't have like Thor 1 is okay,
yeah,
and Thor 2 is not good, but like it's the weakest of the ones we have, right?
Yeah, I would have to
like
say that. Yeah. But
like, because I didn't really like Cap 1, but Cap 2 and 3 are incredible.
Right.
Iron Man 2 and 3 aren't good, but Iron Man 1 is so much better.
Well, yeah, Iron Man
Thor
launched
1.
everything.
It's like,
yeah. So the whole point I'm trying to make here is that Thor 3 Ragnarok, I think, is slowly becoming one of the most hyped Marvel movies. And I say that for a lot of reasons. Now, let me tell you this. All right, so
I'm nodding in agreement.
All right, yes, he is. So the guys that did the movie We Are in the Shadows, it's a mockumentary about vampires.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, it's about vampires and how they live in normal day life. This guy came together with Thor, and they did a mockumentary of why Thor wasn't around for the Civil War. And it's actually really hilarious.
So
you should check it out. And he ends up moving to Australia and living with his roommate named Daryl. And and yeah,
not played by Norman Reedus.
No, yeah, he's just so him and Daryl like hang out. He goes and visits Daryl at his office job, and he like tucks menorah in at night. It's really funny. So then Bruce Banner shows up, and they're having like a conversation, and it's about how like they're talking about like
that's my favorite.
Yeah,
that's my favorite part.
I start with normal pants, and then I Hulk out, and then I got ripped pants. You know, it's like, or I'm a sleeveless shirt. Like I don't understand it. So
my favorite part of that is when he's talking with so it's Thor talking to Bruce Banner, and so it's Chris Hemsworth talking to why can't I think of it? Mark Ruffalo, and he's Thor's like, yeah, I mean, I heard the Civil War's going on, but like no one
gave
really
me a call.
Called me,
Yeah.
and then like Bruce Banner's like, that's kind of weird. I don't even.
I gotta take this.
I don't know what Tony and Steve are doing, and he gets a phone call from Tony Stark, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Tony Stark, what's like how's it going?" Actually, Thor was saying he just wanted to talk to you. So he's like, "Oh, you don't have time to talk to him? You can't."
You can just see how.
And Thor's so sad.
He's so sad, and that's hilarious, right? That
he's like, I don't have a cell phone. He must send me a raven.
Yeah. So
like that was the fun of the first Thor when he's like, they're getting like pancakes and he drinks coffee. He's like, this is great. Bring me another. And he
slams
just
it on the
smashes
ground. You're like,
glass.
this is awesome. Which is kind of ridiculous too, though. If you're such like a
But it's all ridiculous.
well, no, I'm just saying if you're a mythical ancient being that's explained by science and magic, but yet you still live like you're in Viking times, act that way.
Oh, do you see that set? Do you see that set photo though?
Which one?
There's a set. So there were set photos from Sydney, which is doubling as New York in the new Thor movie, and one of them is Chris Hemsworth's Thor holding a piece of paper that has the address for Stephen Strange.
Oh,
so
yeah,
the
I
Doctor
did see
Strange
that.
movie's
I did see that.
Doctor Strange movie's coming out next month, right?
Yes.
And so like I'm like, are they going to link that in? Because I've been very excited. Like they were very specific when they were launching the Marvel Universe with Thor, and they're like, listen, hey guys, it's not magic. It's just science we don't understand. It's okay. It's not crazy. Don't run away. We're not being nerdy. It's okay.
It's okay. Give you a little taste.
It's
Just a taste. Just a little taste.
It's
just
science.
the
It's
tip.
science. And then you watch the Doctor Strange trailer, and like people are just flicking their wrists, and Inception buildings are flying all over the place. So I'm really interested to see like
How that's gonna combine.
what will it mean when those like this science that appears to be magic meets up with magic that's freaking magic.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested to see what happens.
Well, yeah,
there.
I mean, I think the whole thing with Doctor Strange is he can just basically teleport anywhere to any like multiverse or whatever. Which
I know he has the power to sound like Hugh Laurie's Dr. House, which is pretty impressive.
That too. Which I think is cool because I really want to see Red Skull come back, even though they might have a different actor play him. But like,
Yeah, Hugo Weaving's not
he's the
coming
one
back.
to do that. But I did see that Anthony Hopkins is back for Thor 3, which is cool. I mean, so now we're gonna know what happened to Odin. I'm pretty sure Loki's been torturing him. There was a set photo of him with just like looking like he was really torn up.
He looks like a hobo.
Yeah, he looks like a hobo. Yeah.
Yeah, so because at the end of Thor: The Dark World, like Thor's like, I want to go back to be with Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portman, who now has said she's not going to be in the movies anymore. So it's kind of weird that he keeps coming.
So
back
now
to
we
Earth.
know he was with his roommate Daryl in Australia.
Yeah.
That's where he was.
I mean, that's just funny though, right? Because like the guy, the Taika Waititi, so he was also involved in the Flight of the Conchords. So I assume that he is from New Zealand. He was actually, weird thing I realized the other day, he's in Green Lantern, Taika Waititi.
Is he?
The movie Green Lantern.
No way.
With Ryan Reynolds. He's Ryan Reynolds' best friend in that movie.
Oh, that's funny.
And I know.
Okay.
And I know I'm probably the only person that's seen that movie more than once, because like I was tricked into seeing it a second time because like, oh, but it's gonna be a cool screening and like super 3D and there's gonna be free food beforehand and stuff. I was like, yeah, I'll go see it again. And like 30 minutes in, I was like, oh god, this free alcohol is wearing off, and I don't want to watch this anymore.
I thought that.
But anyway, he's from New Zealand, so he did like so he did Flight of the Conchords. So I think that's why they did it like it's Australian. Chris Hemsworth's Australian too, so that's
I thought they were New Zealand.
random.
Yeah.
This has been Mike's random fact minute. You can.
All right, and moving on, everybody. I did see, and I know you've probably seen this. Apparently, Star-Lord's dad from Guardians of the Galaxy, fans, if you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy, I highly recommend it. It's a group of misfits in the Marvel Universe that go out and save the day in a different, same universe as the Avengers, but they just haven't met up yet, right? Don't know the timeline, but
it's the.
You got Chris Pratt from Parks and Rec.
It's my favorite movie.
Yeah,
in the last,
it's
like,
really
15 years.
probably
I love that movie.
our favorite Marvel movie. Yeah, but so I heard Chris Pratt was a big part of getting Kurt Russell to join on as Star-Lord's dad, which is in the sequel. But Star-Lord's dad has played the planet. I can't remember his name.
All right. So Kurt Russell was cast and is playing Ego, the Living Planet.
And it's a
who is
living
apparently
planet.
Star-Lord's dad. So in like the Fantastic Four cartoon that I saw when I was a kid, and in the Silver Surfer cartoon, which is why I think I mentioned before why I feel like I have a leg up on all this cosmic stuff, because I watched the Silver Surfer cartoon where he just surfs around space and has existential thoughts. Man, it's very 60s. But
man.
So Ego, the Living Planet in the universe is legitimately a planet
with people on
that has
right?
No, that has a face.
Yeah. But I've heard there's like in the comics he does have like people living on him.
And the only thing I can say is from the episode of Silver Surfer I remember, he tricks the Silver Surfer into like living on him by pretending that it's Nora and Rad's home planet. Do I have to get into? All right. So
all right, everyone. We're about to see how nerdy Mike B is. Get ready. Continue, Mike.
Man. If I thought last episode wasn't
nerdy, this one's gonna be really
every scare any potential mate away. So basically, what happens is, and this is just in this one incarnation that I saw. And stop me at any point if you feel.
Oh no, I'm gonna let you go.
So basically, what happens is I can't remember the name of the planet, but there's a guy. His name's Nor and Rad, and Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds, who you might remember from the Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer movie, was a big
giant
space cloud. Yeah. But in the actuality, he's just a big guy that eats planets. Yeah. But he's not big. Damn it! It doesn't matter.
Okay. He eats planets.
All right. So anyway, he like destroys planets. So he shows up. And the Silver Surfer goes, "Hey man, don't destroy my planet. I'll work for you. I'll be your herald. I will find planets for you to eat if you don't eat my planet." And Galactus is like, "That seems good." And everyone's like, "Don't do that. That's terrible." He's like, "Nah, don't worry. Like, I'm only gonna find him uninhabited planets, so I'm gonna save so many lives." And everyone's like, "All right, Norman Rad, you're a cool dude. I like what you're about." So he goes and so he does that, but Galactus tricks him and takes away his memories, so he forgets that like he doesn't want to destroy worlds. He finally gets his memory back, and he's like, "You know what? Screw you, Galactus. I hate you." And Galactus is like, "All right, you get to keep your powers for some reason."
Which is weird, right? Why would you let someone?
Yeah, he gets to keep the power cosmic, but he's like, "But to punish you, you're never gonna find your home again." And Galactus, using Galactus powers,
just throws it like a bat.
This flings his home world into like the ether, so it's him basically surfing around the cosmos trying to find his home world. Which brings us back to Kurt Russell.
Yeah, because I'm about to be like, where are we going with this, Mike? Let's bring it back around.
So Kurt Russell, so Ego the Living Planet is able to like morph himself, and so he fakes himself as
the Silver Surfer.
Nor and Rad's home.
Okay.
So the Silver Surfer comes home, and like there's like fake holographs and stuff of all his family or whatever. And it's like, oh my god, this is amazing. And he eventually finds out it's because Ego wants him to save him from like some other cosmic thing. But but this is a long
way to get to the question I've previously had.
How does a planet have sex with a woman and produce Chris Pratt?
Yes, that's what I wanted to know. Like, can he turn into a freaking human? What happens?
So the question is like, does he create like he maybe he can create an avatar of himself? But the more interesting theory that I saw on a YouTube video, and I wish I could credit someone because this is a very interesting theory, is what if it's the Wizard of Oz? Like, what if he's just pretending to be a living planet and he's actually like a guy? Like, don't look behind the curtain because the Wizard of Oz is pretending to be like this big, powerful, like Zordon-looking dude. But he's actually just like...
Did you just do a Power Rangers reference in there?
Yeah.
That is great. Zordon. I love that. I love that. That is so great. Continue. Sorry.
But yeah, no. So like, what if everyone's like, "Oh my god, that's a living planet," because it has like fate. But what if it's just like a guy inside going like
pulling
levers and stuff? Like like the Wizard of Oz when that one guy.
Don't come look behind the curtain. Don't do it.
Yeah, that's a famous. Don't look behind the curtain. And it's just him like twirling a bunch of levers to make it look like he's powerful. And then they're like, "Well, can you help us?" And then he's like,
"No,
no, I really can't." Like, I mean, I have these magic shoes for some reason, but basically everyone else, I just go, "Yeah, you were a good dude the whole time. Don't worry about it." He's like, "I need a heart." And he's like, "Yeah, you just had a heart. Don't worry about it." What a sham. What a con artist. What a con artist, this Wizard of Oz.
All right, so moving on. But, Mike, let's do a timestamp because I got to use the bathroom. So let's do that.
All right, let's just leave it running because I can just look at the waveform.
That's what I'm saying. Just.
All right.
Yeah, I got it.
Word. Sounds good. All right. I'm leaving all this in. Mike, why are your peas so loud? right, Mike, you back?
I'm back. Back in a
Well-
minute. All right.
While you were back, I remembered the name of Nor and Rad's home planet. It was Zenla,
Oh, wow.
just to keep some of my nerd cred.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure no one was questioning it.
Jose might.
All right. So, I would like to talk about The Flash now. Not only TV, but cinematic, and it's all going to make sense. All right. For everyone who doesn't know The Flash, what are you doing? You live under a rock or something? Come on. Get with it.
Preach,
Yeah.
brother, preach.
So first, but like seriously, the Flash is a guy who can run super fast. He's in DC Comics. He's a superhero. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you but that. If you don't know the Flash, then you're a communist. And even then, they might know. What, Mike? Looked like you had something to say.
That was gonna springboard me into talking about Red Sun Superman, but then I was like, no, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. I'm glad. We probably already got enough of that for one day.
I mean, in all fairness, everyone's already stopped listening. So it's fine.
Well, all right. So, what I want to talk about the Flash is I feel like it's doomed cinematically, and this is why. One, they've already taken a huge Flash villain, Captain Boomerang, and put him in the Suicide Squad, and I think they made that abundantly clear that they're not going to use him within the Flash universe. So you got that right there.
I mean, he was my favorite character. I think we touched on this last time. He was my favorite character.
Yeah, it was the best one. I think he just character-wise and for the most part actually stuck to what you would think he would do in the Suicide Squad for the most part.
In all fairness, considering the two facts, one, he only throws 3 boomerangs.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like 3. One of them's like a monitor boomerang.
He throws 2 boomerangs, and then he rejoins the team for no reason. But it was still fun. I liked it when he cracked that beer.
Right. Okay. So basically, they keep talking about the Flash movie, and they're like, "Oh, this stuff's gonna happen in the Flash movie." Cyborg's supposed to be in it, which is a guy who's basically like a robot that's half human. And they keep
kind of like a cyborg.
Yeah. Well, they keep hyping it up. It's really what I'm saying. And like, you don't even have Justice League 1 or 2 out yet, and they're supposed to have all these other movies that are origins. And they just spoke the other day that they're supposed to that it's rumored that the Flash movie is going up against the Rogues, and I feel like this is a huge mistake. If you don't know who the Rogues are, they are Heatwave, Captain Cold, Pied Piper. I'm drawing a blank on. There's like, what, 2 or 3 more?
So, I mean, the Rogues are basically, the Rogues Gallery. I don't know where it comes from, but I mean, that's just, that's a term. It's used in a lot of people's villain pantheon, like Batman's guys are called, his Rogues Gallery. It's a lot of Rogues Gallery. Someone, #unrelated pod, tell me where Rogues Gallery originates. But like, there's like a formal, like, the Rogues, like, and it's basically, because basically the Flash is, and I think we touched on this last week, the most powerful. Like,
right.
If you can run so fast that you can turn back time and like beat the speed of light, like, you can't be hurt, right? So,
right.
Like,
you can essentially change every outcome of everything.
And so like, all of his villains are dumb because
except for the speedsters.
But even them, it's just like, that's not very interesting. But that's not very. I mean, the show's made it very interesting.
Well, that's what.
What
I was gonna say.
Don't make me bring back the bobblehead to tell you whether I'm happy or not. But no. So the thing about the Rogues is that like none of them have interesting powers, but they're all very interesting characters.
Right.
Which works for a long-form narrative like a comic book or for like a TV show. But in a 2-hour movie, you can't have 6 interesting characters because it's too hard to pull off.
Yeah, I just feel like they're going to put together 6 characters that are like, we're pissed at the Flash.
Yeah. I mean, you think something
I
like Ocean's 11 or something, right?
Yeah.
Like Ocean's 11's a fun movie, but like besides... And I mean, you couldn't even... I don't even know if you'd argue, but like... So Matt Damon, Brad Pitt, and... George Clooney, they're the only ones that really have any characterization. Everyone else, or have any sort of dimension to them. Everyone else is just kind of like, they're that guy, right? Like, Bernie Mac, like, again, I will say Bernie Mac goes in the category of John Goodman and Terry Crews, where every time I see him in a movie, I go, there was not enough Bernie Mac in that movie. Like, why wasn't there more Bernie Mac? But he was one dimensional. He was just like the fast talking, like black guy.
But
right?
sometimes that might be
doing.
the reason why you like that character. You never know.
No, I think if I had had more Bernie Mac, I would have been happy. I'm all like,
okay. I'm just saying. It's like.
Sorry, I was gonna go into a whole thing. Continue.
Yeah, like I don't know how we went from
Bernie
the
Mac
Flash
was
to
amazing.
Bernie Mac on Ocean's 11.
What?
All I'm saying is the TV show does it really well. The Flash TV show does it really well. If you're gonna have these like secondary characters that are good villains, you have to give us a backstory. You have to let us know what all this stuff's going on. And it seems like since that's already been rumored that that's going to happen, that there's not going to be a villain speedster. And I think the TV show Flash has definitely told us that you have to have a villain speedster for it to work. Like it doesn't have to be the main villain, but it has to be enough to where it's going to like push the Flash to the limits. Because again, the Flash he can reverse time. He can go forward. He can multi-universe travel. And we know he can do that because we've seen Batman v Superman, that awful dream thing.
That was weird.
Yeah.
It was a dream inside a dream.
Am I too far? Did I grow my beard out too quickly? Like I don't understand it at all. Yeah.
He's got that real Norman Reedus. Like, you can't grow a beard, just stop. But no, I think my real problem is I think we're getting into the original like Christopher Reeve Superman and like Superman Returns type territory where like in a movie you have to have a threat that makes you feel like you need that character to be there, right?
Right.
Like, for example, like John McClane is the perfect protagonist in Die Hard.
The original Die Hard, everybody.
Yes, obviously. Whenever I say Die Hard, I always mean the original Die Hard. And so he's a perfect protagonist because if you had anyone who was like, because he's just like a beat cop that's like, he's like pretty good at being a cop, but he's not like a Navy SEAL or something. Like, if you had a Navy SEAL,
he's just a cop that's in the wrong situation,
Yeah,
but he's like, I'm a cop, I gotta do this.
Yeah, he'd be too powerful, and if he was any weaker, then he'd be nobody. But so I think, and that's kind of the problem. Like, he's the perfect balance. But you look at something like Superman, like, why is cinematic Lex Luthor a challenge for Superman? All he does is have weird land deals. Like, that's not something Superman needs.
It's always
to deal
about
with.
real estate
like,
with him.
The Flash doesn't need to deal with a guy with boomerangs. You know who can deal with a guy with boomerangs? A guy with a
literally
gun.
anyone else in the DC universe.
If you have a gun, you can deal with a guy with a boomerangs. So, and even like you could be like, oh, well, what if there were 8 of them and they were spread across the city and they were all going to kill someone at the same time? Nope, the Flash is super, super fast. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's all good. Like,
yeah, it doesn't.
Like if our attempts to clap to sync up our audio are any indication, like there's no way. Like the Flash could probably stop me from clapping, then run to Charlotte and stop you from clapping. Like I think it's fine. He's got it covered.
Yeah.
Like
he could have found Martha real quick. Just saying.
But I mean, they're fighting an uphill battle because, man, like, I mean, you and me like that show, and like a lot of people like that show. Like Grant Gustin, like he likes that show. He's the Flash to me, and like that's no shot against Ezra Miller because I think Ezra Miller has been treating everything just like Ezra Miller is the guy who's the guy who's set up as a cinematic Flash. He's in a little bit of Batman vs Superman. He's in like 2 seconds of Suicide Squad. But he's saying all the right things. He's going like, oh yeah, man, I really like the Flash TV show and all this kind of stuff. Like, because that's the way to play it. Like, he's playing it perfectly because if he was like, no, since we're a movie, we're going to be better than this TV. Like, he's playing it right because there would be no chance if he did that. But the studio's playing it like that.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know why they're so against their own products. That's weird to me.
I don't understand.
But so let's move on. But to keep it on the TV point, so Bruce Heller, the producer of Gotham, was quoted saying that superhero shows don't. Okay, so let me just hold on. Gotham is a show about Gotham City before Bruce Wayne takes on the mantle of Batman, or Batman fakes being Bruce Wayne. Either way, it's dumb.
I'm so far away from my microphone because I'm boo.
Well, but Bruce Heller was commented saying, he's like, I don't think superhero shows do well on TV because of the whole costume thing. That's why James Gordon is the main character of our show. And I was like, blow it out your ass, man. Like, you can't tell me that superhero shows do bad. Like, quit trying to make Gotham a thing. It's not a thing. Cancel that show already. Please, people, stop watching it. Why do you like it?
2 thoughts.
All right.
My first thought is on Gotham, and why no one should like Gotham is because, like I made some Facebook posts, and I wish I kind of had it up right now because it was very succinct about it. It's like there was a boardroom meeting where they were like, "Hey, what if we did like a Batman show without Batman in it?" And someone went, "That's a freaking great idea." Like, what if I was like, that would be me being like, dude, what if we did a Star Wars movie with no stars or wars?
Wars.
I mean, it's not like, do you know what people are there to see?
Jar Jar
And the other
Binks.
thing- And like,
No?
listen, that was fun. I think, I don't want to retread because I've already discussed how Marvel and stuff like Game of Thrones have nerdified the world, but like that worked in like 2001 when people were like, we're gonna do Smallville and we're gonna have a no flight, no tights rule. He's never gonna fly. He's never gonna have tights. And like, 2001, the audiences of 2001. That's probably what they needed. If you had like,
Yeah, to break you into it, I get you. I just hate Smallville.
like Dean Cain, Lois and Clark, doesn't work. But like nowadays, people don't care, and you also have this democratization of media where like people don't delineate in their mind very much between TVs and movies and YouTubes and all. Like, it's all just content, right? So like people don't go, well, I'm fine with a caped Superman on the movies, but don't you put a cape on my TV? And it's like,
Why?
what? No, like no one thinks like that anymore, except for the people who watch CBS. I thought you'd react more to that shot at CBS.
I was just gonna be like, who watches CBS? I don't.
Everyone. It's America's most watched network.
Dude, it must be like the channel old people put on when they fall asleep in their chairs. That's the only thing I can think of.
Like, old people just turn on CBS and then they die, and then their cats eat them, but the TV's still on.
And then QVC runs for hours. So, to kind of take it off, I feel like we've been on superheroes for a minute. I do want to move on to something else, and it's something that I truly love. It's a show I truly love. Rick and Morty comes on Adult Swim. It's basically about this crazy uncle and his nephew that go and travel all these universes, and a bunch of crazy stuff happens to him. But I think
Back to the Future, the cartoon.
It actually is, but like that's what they really were gonna call it, Rick and Marty, when it first came out.
Yeah.
And they're like, we
Yeah,
can't do that. I'm pretty sure we'll get sued. So they made it into their own thing, and it's very wild. Check it out. But the cool thing is that the creators of that are making a virtual reality studio for the VR that's coming out. And it's only going to be dedicated to funny/humor type games, which I think is great because those guys are definitely hitting so many like boundaries. Just to give you an example, one of the characters on the show is called Mr. Poopy Butthole. Like, I mean, come on. That's funny, dude. Come on.
That's some solid professional writing.
Exactly.
That a 7-year-old could do.
If you can't laugh at that, what can you laugh at?
All right, so here's the thing. I've seen like 3 or 4 episodes of Rick and Morty. The only reason I really gave it a shot, like, I have no affinity for Back to the Future. I don't care. But
Really? I would have never guessed that.
Nah.
I love Back to the Future.
I'm
kind of mad that you don't like Back to the Future.
I mean, do we need to get? I'm curious whether we've gotten into it before. Why I think I don't have an affinity for Back to the Future. Did we not? All right. So here's the thing. My parents are really old. So
shout out to Fran.
Shout out to Fran. My parents are like probably 10 to 15 years older than my contemporaries. So we were both born after Back to the Future came out, right? But your parents were younger than mine, so they were still going to movies. Like, back when the Back to the Future came out, was that 80? That was like 85, something like that.
Right.
My dad would have been 40. He's not going to go see Back to the Future. Like 85, your dad would have been like 28 or something like that. You go see Back to the Future at your 28. So when my parents were showing me movies from when they were younger, they were like
Really
older movies. So that's
older.
why I have a lot more nostalgia for like 70s stuff than I do 80s stuff, because my parents were about a decade older than most people's other parents.
Well, that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
let's agree that Back to the Future is entertaining.
Dan Harmon's the man.
Yes.
He's one of the co-creators of Rick and Morty, and he's also one of the co-creators of one of my favorite TV shows that isn't Burn Notice, which is Community, because Community is great.
Community is great. It's off the air now, right?
Yeah. It got canceled, and then it got picked up by like Yahoo Screen, which was like Yahoo trying to get into like the Netflix game or something.
Yahoo just needs to give up.
And so that was for the callback. So that was for like the sixth season. But I actually saw a really funny anecdote yesterday. So the Russo brothers, who directed Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Civil War, and then they're going to do Infinity War, and Dan Harmon, were all involved in this one episode of Community. And this clip's been going around, and it's the cast of Community just shitting on Marvel movies. and like, so the Russo brothers have directed 2. They're directing at least another 2. And then a report came out that Dan Harmon had done some rewrites on Doctor Strange. So there's just like, everyone's just like, hey, when the people that hate your stuff write your movies. And it's like this clip of like just everyone like sitting around. So Community was about this community college, and they'd always have seen just sitting around the study table just talking junk, and it's just them going like, these Marvel movies are terrible, why do they keep telling? And so like, it's funny that now like the 3 biggest names involved with the show like are now doing Marvel stuff. It's a really funny, there's clips out there if anyone wants to check it out. But
yeah, so everyone go check that out. Mike, what do you keep looking at? It's really bothering me. What are you looking at?
I'm looking to the right, Mike.
Why?
Because you made me sit by my window. So, like, there's a lot of street traffic, man. There's a lot of street traffic out here. I'm just seeing what people are doing. What are their lives like, Mike?
All right,
we could go in
crazy
depth.
Stalker. All right.
It's not. You have to follow someone for it to be
He is
stalking.
picking his next victim, folks.
It is. It's just, you're just peeping if you stay in one place. It's only stalking.
Peeping Tom, stalker, whatever you want to call it. That's what he's doing.
Listen, everyone, just learn the rules. Just learn the laws in your local jurisdiction so you don't get yourself in trouble.
All right, so I want to end on this. I feel like we should end after that. No, I'd like to end on this last little note, which is, I think.
Hey, Mike, what kind of note?
It's on an unrelated note, of course.
Woo!
No, so Kate Mara, she is an actress. She recently just played in the Fantastic Four movie. She's in Shooter as well.
House of Cards.
House of Cards. Forgot about House of Cards. Yeah, she was given an interview, and she's like, I'm so down for another Fantastic Four movie. But is anyone else? That's the real question. I don't think – I know the people that did it are. Like the actors that played the characters are, but I don't think anyone else is down. I don't even think Fox is down for another Fantastic Four movie.
So I haven't seen Fan Four Stick, I believe as the internet would like to refer to it as. But the Fantastic Four was one of my favorite superheroes growing up. Like,
and it's just been butchered again and again.
Because I really love that it doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold up at all. But I really liked the TV show when I was a little kid. Like, I remember specifically waking up because it would come on at, like, the only reason I knew who Iron Man was because at like 6 o'clock in the morning, the Iron Man animated series would come on, and at 6:30 was the Fantastic Four. So I'd wake up. So I'd see most of Iron Man because I wanted to make sure I was awake for Fantastic Four, because after Fantastic Four, I'd have to go like swim practice or something like that. And I used to love it. I used to love it. I am going to insert the theme song, the original theme song to the show, because it's great. I'm going to insert it right now.
Dude, I like it. It's rhythmic.
It's really literal. And but no, I always liked it. I always liked the dynamic. And the one that came out in 2004 it wasn't good, but I remember going, all right.
I remember being Johnny Storm was really funny.
Yeah, well, he went on to be Captain America. But I remember thinking like, this movie wasn't good, but you set up enough stuff that like the next one could be great. And then Rise of the Silver Surfer was terrible.
Oh god, it was bad.
And then I just gave up. I was like, all right, Fox doesn't know what they're doing.
I think that movie actually killed Jessica Alba's career. The second Fantastic.
Are we sure that Jessica Alba's bad acting didn't kill Jessica Alba's career?
I don't know. Too hard to tell.
So when this one came out, I'm like, I'm not even doing it. I want my memories of the Fantastic Four to be me as a little kid sitting really close to my TV and my mom going, "That's gonna ruin your eyes." And I'm like, "Mom, have you seen how thick my glasses are? There's no ruining these eyes worse than they already are."
I'm just saying that isn't there a theory out there that Fox made this movie terrible on purpose, the most recent Fantastic Four?
All right, so basically the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Iron Man, Thor, Avengers, all that kind of stuff, that's all owned by Marvel proper, which is owned by Disney now. And but in the 90s, Marvel went bankrupt and they had to sell off a bunch of their properties. And they've since reacquired a lot of the rights of those back, but the ones they haven't are Spider-Man, X-Men, and Fantastic Four.
Well, they have shared rights to Spider-Man now, though.
Well, no. Sony still owns the rights to Spider-Man, but they're like
they have creative control, right?
They're like, we've messed up so many times that we are aware that it would be in our financial interest to let you use Spider-Man in your movies. And let you control our Spider-Man movies so we make money. X-Men still owned by Fox, and those are Apocalypse.
Those are going downhill. Yeah, but they're making a new one, right? It's like the New Mutants. It's all gonna be terrible. I think
they got Old Man Logan coming out. I forgot.
I
assume a Deadpool 2. I mean, Deadpool was an accident. They didn't want to make Deadpool. But like Fantastic Four, it's like they just don't want to give the rights back. It's like, so they have to make movies. If they don't make a movie every 10 years, then Marvel gets the rights back. So in 1994, there's just like infamously bad, never released in theaters Fantastic Four movie they made.
I saw this the other day. It was like an article on it. It looks terrible.
It looks pretty bad. But like, so that's why. So they made that one in '94. So they had to make it, and they made the other Fantastic Four in 2004, and then that one did okay. So they made the next one in 06 or 07. So they rushed production on this because they had to make it by 2016 or 17, or else the rights for Fantastic Four would have gone back to Marvel. So they are basically sinking hundreds of millions of dollars into some Fantastic Four movies in the hopes that Marvel will offer them more than they spent on these movies.
Well, here's the thing. Like, the Fantastic Four, like, for all those who don't know, they're really big in just about every storyline within Marvel. At least one character, like Reed Richards is supposed to be the smartest man in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Well, definitely one of them. Like, I mean, Civil War, they're a big part of Civil War.
Reed Richards makes the prison.
He does make the prison.
Yeah.
And then
I think what the thing is, he's against it, right? And then also, go ahead.
So the biggest storyline from Civil War that had to be let out because they don't have the Fantastic Four is basically Reed is on Tony's side, and Johnny the Human Torch, Johnny Storm, gets beat up outside of a nightclub because they're like, you guys are out of control or whatever, and he gets beat up, and Sue ends up like leaving Reed to join Cap's side because she's like, you've gone too far.
Which is a big deal. I mean, you get spousal stuff in there. I guess they'd had that with Vision and Scarlet Witch, but not too much, you know.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, my biggest thing is, like, every time I see a movie, most of the time, like, when they mess up Ghost Rider or they mess up Blade or whatever they're messing up, I don't feel bad, but, like, God, I really love the Fantastic Four.
Well,
I really did, and they just...
well, to
they
bring it
won't do
back to
man.
Fox, I mean, they're obviously doing it for a reason because they know they have a valid place in this universe. And maybe once, I think Sue, which is the Invisible Woman, she has a big part in the the Infinity Wars.
Yeah, I mean, but I think the Disney Marvel have shown they don't need them. I mean, the X-Men I'm fine with because the X-Men don't make any sense in a combined universe.
Yeah, because mutant and a superhero, like, there's nothing that makes them different. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, like how could you think that, like, Thor and Captain America and all these guys are like, that's so awesome, and then Wolverine's like, I regenerate and have claws, and like, you're the worst.
You're a mutant. You have an extra gene.
Though in all fairness, people suck, so I could possibly see that as a real thing. Like, people could be like no one has a problem with someone, like, being like, hey, I'm, like, genetically disposed to have, like, blonde hair. But then someone else goes, hey, I'm genetically disposed to have brown skin. And people go, well, fuck you. So I could see it possibly happening, but only because people are the worst. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
But yeah, to go, it's weird that you can shoot lasers out of your eyes because you're a mutant, but it's cool that you can shoot lasers out of your eyes because someone stuck a needle in your ass. It is true that's a little incongruous. So I'm fine with that, but just give them the Fantastic Four because I want a Galactus storyline. Avengers 4 Galactus.
All right.
That's what I want. That's all I want.
I think that's a good breaking point.
Oh, Mike, but we need to talk about this. So that's our last topic today. But Mike, I would like to go into our new segment, reader feedback.
Oh, we actually got some feedback. I'm surprised.
Well, so before we went online, I went to unrelatedpod@gmail.com to see if we had any emails. Mike, we didn't have any emails. No one emails. But feel free to do it. You could get in this segment next week.
Yeah.
But I've also told everyone, hey, if you want to, you can always go online and say, go to Twitter, go to Facebook, something like that. #unrelatedpod. Give us your ideas. If you have like a more short form thought than you might have in an email. That's cool too. And so I searched and I'm like, #unrelatedpod. One result.
Oh,
how about that?
I like it.
So the first thought I had was, the date on this #unrelatedpod is 5/31/15, which is more than a year ago.
Yeah, I was like, how is that possible?
So, but Mike, I told people if they said #unrelatedpod, we'd read it. So we have to read it.
All right, let's
we're
read it. I'm ready
to read it.
I'm ready.
Okay, this is from @Ribberfever. REEBERFEEVER.
Okay.
Rifribber. And he said, so it's capital N. N. Now, I'm all giddy at PulpMX. Got the Lakewood review up already! ! At RacerX Online, at NFABIC, at Team BTO Sports, at Fox X Inc.
Did we just
hashtag Team Keffer, #unrelatedpod. Woo! Feedback.
Thanks. Whatever that was.
from the past.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to say that.
Mike, I would just like everyone to know that Mike has rubbed his face very, very hard. Mike, are you mad that I told you earlier that I was like, hey, Mike, we have some feedback that I'm going to give you? And it turned out that it was just an elaborate joke for me to read out a nonsensical tweet.
I'm more mad that you spelled everything out. You wasted my time and the viewers and the listeners.
Well, Mike, we've already established like 20 minutes ago that no one's listening anymore, so we're good.
All right,
We're good.
That's good. Okay.
We can say whatever we want.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening, if you made it this far, to another episode of An Unrelated Note. You can always hit us up at unrelatedpod@gmail.com. Hashtag us on Twitter at unrelatedpod. Or check out our YouTube channel, which is on Unrelated Note. Breakout videos every Thursday.
That's not our YouTube channel.
It's not? What is it?
It's just Unrelated.
Okay, so it's just Unrelated then. All right.
Yeah.
Unrelated YouTube channel where we have breakout videos every Thursday. And basically, we put out a video of what we've talked about, and we animate it.
It's super fun. We both work really hard
We
together
do.
on
We
it
do.
as like a team. We both animate it so well. Like we both like just back and forth, just us looking at keyframes one on one. Like it's such a collaborative effort.
I just don't think Mike B could do it without me here. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Like you are the rock on which I build my foundation. Man. Like,
am I the wind beneath your wings?
let's not go that far.
I think that's a good point to stop. Hey, everybody, thanks for listening. Check back in Monday, and all the subscribers, thank you so much. We'd love to hear from you. So, till next time. Excelsior.
Adios.
I don't know.
Adios. No, dude. Real quick though, we do need to establish a catchphrase. We need catchphrases. No one's listening right now, so like, listen. If you don't want to hear us discuss catchphrases, you can stop listening.
Yeah.
But we're discussing. All right. So like, what are you thinking, man? You need like a have a good morrow.
Yeah.
Rock the cash box.
Can I just say, committee, yeah? Just peace
Nah,
out.
you gotta have your own thing. You gotta say, a broke fan is right twice a day.
What?
I don't know. I had a little fan next. I was looking at my fan. I was like, well, it's broke. So like that's how it is. Most of the.
I like, if you don't know, now you know. In peace.
I don't know if I like that as a. I feel like that's dangerous. I feel like that's real dangerous. I feel like if we want the Trump crowd, perhaps. What about something like we'll leave the light on for you?
Oh, that sounds rapey.
No, that rapey would be like, we'll leave the pills in your drinks for you. No, that's from Motel 8, right? The guy goes, I'm Tom Bodette from Motel 8. We'll leave the light on for you.
Well, what are we, like a 60s radio show?
It doesn't sound like that at all. What about something like, if you see a rabbit, give it a high five.
I hate that. I immediately hate that saying. I want to punch it in the face.
What if your catchphrase was, "Hey Mike, don't post this. I don't want this on the internet."
Just no. Mike. No.
What if you were like, did anyone ever notice that microphones kind of look like robot dicks?
It can't be like that. It's got to be something that you just end on very well.
All right, so you go, hey, we're done with the episode, guys. I'm really happy that this is my impression of your voice. Hey, we're really happy that you're here, man.
All right, you want to hear my impression of your voice? It's like this. It's like, well, when you take the Speed Force.
That's kind of... I feel like I sound slightly more stonerish than you give me credit for. Like, you have to go a little more guttural.
Well, Mike, I'm not sure if you've heard.
That's definitely my inflection. You definitely got... All right. What if I just go... And that's been the news.
I hate it. I hate everything. This is something that's just going to have to think about. I'm going to have to think about it.
Keep your podcasts casty.
Keep it classy, also a little nasty.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Remember, guys, keep it classy. Keep it classy. All right, guys, remember, keep it classy and also a little nasty.
And never let your cups ride solo. I'm looking at a solo cup. How could anyone... Like, How could anyone still be listening? You're an insane person. That should be our sign off.
Yeah.
Like, thanks for listening.
You're insane.
Literally go find a therapist. All right, guys. Remember, always
keep it classy. And also
and a little bit nasty. While you're rolling with your solo cups. All right, and solo.
He's also holding a solo.
Also, I know what mine is now. Google 2 girls, 1 cup.
Yeah.
Does that still exist?
Probably. Ew.
All right.
Can I
Hey,
stop
Mike.
hitting record?
No, this is comedy gold. Gold, Jerry, gold. Yeah, you can probably stop. No, don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Oh, there we go. Is that a song? Did I
Yeah,
steal
it's a
that?
song. Can't stop, won't stop the beat. I can't stop, won't stop the beat. Everybody, gonna feel it to my body. Oh, you don't remember that? I think there's like a cat on the YouTube channel that flies to like in a Pop-Tart suit to like with a rainbow coming out of his ass.
We had one listener, and Jose just stopped listening.
Shout out to Jose.
Shout out to Jose. That should probably just be the sign off. Shout out to Jose.
Yeah, that's
Shout out
what
to
I'm
Jose.
doing. Shout out to Jose.